This is Lukadowski out here with Bill Black. I hear many famous legends and rumors about how you put many bankers to jail. How the hell did you manage that?
Well, I was part of a group that did. The agency did its part by making more than 10,000 criminal referrals. The FBI and the Justice Department did their part. We put more than 1,000 elite bankers in jail, convicted with a 90% conviction rate. And most of these were in the top 100 case, so they were the most elite frauds in the entire crisis.
And when did this happen?
This happened basically from about 89 to about 1993.
Wow, amazing work, amazing. I'm surprised that something like that could even be accomplished. But if I could ask you your thoughts about this economic crisis that we're in right now, what do you personally think caused the troubles that we're in now?
So first, this crisis is 70 times larger in terms of its losses. Second, it was driven by an even bigger wave of fraud than the savings and loan crisis. In the savings and loan crisis, they found that at the typical large failure, fraud was invariably present. Then we went through the whole Enron era. Those were all frauds as well. We get to this era, we find that 90% of liars' loans are fraudulent. That liars' loans by 2006 are 1 out of every 3 loans made. That means roughly 2 million fraudulent loans, and we find that it was the lenders who put the lie in the liars' loans. Next part, that's what hyperinflated the bubble. When you get a really huge bubble, when it collapses, you get the Great Recessions and Depressions. So that's what drove this crisis. That's what made the criminal bankers rich, and that's what cost us 10 million American jobs and $11 trillion. A trillion is 1,000 billion. $11 trillion lost versus 150 billion in the savings and loan crisis. In this crisis, as I told you, we made over 10,000 criminal referrals in the savings and loan crisis, which was 1/70th as big. In this crisis, 0 criminal referrals by the same agency, therefore 0 convictions, and only as recently as 2007, 120 FBI agents nationwide supposed to deal with 4 million frauds, whereas we had 1,000 FBI agents just on the savings and loan crisis, which again was 1/70th the size.
So I'm guessing you're a fan of Ben Bernanke?
Yeah.
What's your comments about Ben Bernanke?
If we want to fix the problem, you got to start always by fixing the regulators. So you can't fire Ben Bernanke as the president doesn't have that power, but he can ask for his resignation. And you got to fire Geithner, and you got to fire Holder. Holder is the Attorney General, Geithner is the Treasury Secretary. Bernanke and Geithner were promoted or re-upped because they were failures as financial regulators, and indeed they were the most abject failures as regulators in the history of regulation.
I couldn't agree with you more, Bill Black. Thank you so much for all your work. Where can we find more of it?
On New Economic Perspectives, which is the blog at the University of Missouri Kansas City Economics Department, which is one of about 4 heterodox departments left in the United States of America. And you can do it on Twitter. You can follow our stuff at William K. Black.
Thank you so much for your amazing work.